So we'll act like we're talking to each other because we can fade in.
Oh yeah.
So we're like, oh my God, how you going?
Yeah.
And then what we do like on 3 is you just go ahead and turn and we'll just start talking.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, ready? So like, so you don't like.
Okay.
There's gonna be all kinds of crazy outtakes on this.
I know.
All right, so whenever you're ready.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Go.
All right. Hi guys, so we are here today at the Aloft Hotel, and this is where PhotoCon is going to take place this year. I'm here with Robert Trawick. So we wanted to talk to you today about our jobs and what we primarily shoot and what lenses work best for those particular jobs. So Robert, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Oh, I get to start off?
You get to start off.
Well, that's perfect. Well, I'm Robert Trawick with Trawick Images and Trawick Images Workshops. And I have to say, I love hanging out with Leia. She's an amazing photographer. We were Instagram friends for many years and then decided on the message like, hey, let's get together for coffee.
Yeah, and we've been doing it for what, 5 years now?
Yeah, it's been like 5 years.
Coffee,
it's been a long time.
Yeah, coffee at least once a month.
At least once a month,
Yeah.
sometimes quicker.
Yeah.
But so we're both speaking at PhotoCon, and we wanted to make a little video because I love her so much that I switched to Fuji because of her.
Aww.
Okay, not really, but I'm gonna just let her know that.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm a full-time photographer. I shoot weddings, commercial, lots of headshots, lots of different artistic projects. I'm trying to do more fashion and follow my mentor, Leia, because Leia shoots amazing fashion. And,
I haven't in a while, but you know.
Yeah, because she passed the torch on
years.
to me.
I did, you know. The weddings have pretty much taken over my life, so.
Yeah, and the weddings have really been hurting my body a lot.
Yeah, probably me too, which is why I'm standing right now and not sitting.
Well, I thought she was standing because she's taller that way. So yeah, I shoot Fuji. I switched over about 2 years ago. This is my second year shooting Fuji full time. And the way that happened is I was a Nikon shooter for a lot of years, and Nikon and Fuji have always had a relationship, pretty good. And I've shot some Fuji cameras in the past that were film, like the medium format. God, now I completely forgot about the model. But it was the 6x6 Fuji. It was really awesome.
Right.
And Leia showed up to the coffee shop one time with this X100.
Yeah, and that was
Fuji.
back in like what, 2015?
It has been a long time.
Yeah, it was at least 5 years ago.
And it had that rangefinder look. It
Yeah.
had all the dials. It was so sexy.
It was cool.
And I salivated over that camera a lot. And when the F came out, was it the F?
It was the F, and then it was the S, and then it was
Oh,
the
the
T.
S, and then the F.
Yeah, I think I had the S and then the T.
Right.
And I kept sort of following the food chain and like upgrading and stuff, and that was really exciting. And every time I upgraded, I would show Robert, and of course, you know, we'd have a big discussion about it and everything. And then I got more interested in getting a camera with interchangeable lenses.
Right.
So then
absolutely.
I got the XT1. And
Did you get the XT? Is that the first one?
Yeah, I had the XT1. I bought it used off of eBay and loved it. And that was the first camera that I actually took to a wedding and shot. And I used it for actual wedding photos.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I actually purchased her original X100. This is first generation. So this thing is 10 years old at least now.
Yeah.
And I would take it to a wedding just as just a candid shot because it had the leaf shutter, so it was completely silent.
Right.
And I would just run around and shoot black and whites. And I had a bride ask me, hey, can I see that shot you took of my aunt at the table? And I thought, yeah, absolutely. Took a look at it, and she says, oh, I want to make sure that's in my wedding album. And I kind of cringed and thought, oh, I don't know if that's going to work. But I said yes.
Yeah.
And we actually put it in the wedding album, and she loved it. So I kind of started considering then, like these lighter cameras that are quieter at a wedding for candids, when I would bring the big Nikon out with the flash and the big lens, as I would approach a table at a reception, people would start fixing themselves up because the photographer's coming.
Right.
But when I brought a small camera like this, it was no big deal.
Less intimidating.
Less intimidating.
Yeah.
So that caused me to get on that train. And shortly after that, I was at PhotoCon with Leia, and I saw her over at the Fuji booth, and she had all these Canons in boxes that she was turning
Yes, I I wanted them to look at all of our gear first, and the next day I brought everything in and we traded all of our Canon gear, all of our lenses. We had 2 rolling bags full of equipment. We had 2 of every single lens, and we had 5 Canon bodies, and we turned all of that in and we officially switched to Fuji.
And so when you did that, I'm going to be the interviewer here just for fun.
Yeah.
So when you did that, so what's the first thing that you noticed right away that helped your photography or maybe your workflow?
What helped me right away was the Viewfinder. It's such a tremendous change from Canon, and I'm not familiar with Nikon, but I'm assuming Nikon is very similar to Canon. So Fuji, when you look through that Viewfinder, it is so easy to make adjustments right there on the spot without having to chimp and like pull the camera away from your face and look at the shot and waste time doing that, and then bring it back up and make some changes, and then pull it back down again and look at it again. It's so much quicker and more efficient, and you get, when you look through that Viewfinder and you take that shot, what you take is exactly what you're gonna get.
Honestly, that was one of the things that I really thought that mirrorless cameras was just like a toy. Like, this is just a fad. I mean, it's basically an iPhone with the lens.
Right.
And I really kind of was turned off by it. And I thought, if you're a professional, you got to shoot a digital SLR.
Right, exactly.
And then once I started using the X100, and it did not have that feature. But then I picked up an X Pro 2, which is my favorite. This is my X Pro 3, but it's the rangefinder style.
Right.
I was blown away. I felt like I was cheating.
Yeah.
It was so easy that I didn't have to chimp.
Yeah.
And I was more involved in the process of shooting, and it wasn't like, take a shot, oh no, that's too dark, let's do it again.
Right.
I was more involved with my client, and
Yeah.
I really liked that interaction much better.
Right, and the interaction is so much more smooth. I mean, even when we have 20 people lined up for formals, we're able to quickly see, I can look in there and see if anyone's blinking. If I missed a shot, let's do it again really quick. And I know that everyone in front of me is wondering, how in the heck does she know that information so quick? How does she know that I blinked? But it's so fast and it's so just quiet, and it's like really on top of its game that, to switch for me now, to switch to anything other than Fuji, I couldn't see myself doing that.
Yeah, I picked up a couple of digital SLRs in the past, helping some students, and I pick them up and I go, oh my God, how do you shoot with this thing?
I know, it's so heavy.
It's so heavy, it's so cumbersome.
Yeah.
And you're constantly having to chimp the background, and just, it just really blows me away. So what other things have you done in your workflow? Because I know that your last video talked about just like 3 lenses that you shoot at a wedding.
Yeah.
I have a whole case of stuff over here still. I think I'm a gear hog.
Well, I sort of felt like a gear hog with Canon. Like, we had 2 of every single lens, and each lens was so big and heavy, and I loved them all, and they worked great. But they're very, like I said, we had 2 tremendous rolling bags that we would take with us to every single wedding, and you don't realize how cumbersome all of that is and how much space it takes up in the back of your car.
Right.
And then when you add a photo booth to it, and you add your light stands and all of your lights, and then pretty soon you're driving a bus just to get to a wedding,
No law about that.
Yeah, with this, you're really able to streamline all of the equipment that you own. So like I said in my last video, I really love the 56. It's a wonderful portrait lens, and it does such a great job.
It's beautiful glass,
It
too.
really
It's
is.
sexy. It's
Yeah.
very sexy.
And it's weather sealed, which I also think is super important. We have shot weddings in the pouring rain.
And not have to worry about
And
it.
not have to worry. The only thing I'm worried about is my makeup running down my face, but
I don't have to worry about that.
he doesn't. But the other lens that I really love more than anything is my 23 millimeter. And I sort of did what you told me to do.
Oh, you did? Okay, so do share.
I took over 900 photos with this lens, the wedding that we had just this last Saturday.
Just with that lens?
Just with this lens. And so this is definitely my most used lens, from formals to taking shots of the bride when she's getting ready,
Right.
to taking panoramas of the reception space. I can take 3
Hey.
photos.
You're taking panoramas?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, she
Yeah.
just one-upped me again.
Ah.
People. I cannot believe this.
Yeah, I mean, I can take 3 beautiful photos and stitch them all together, and the 23 gives me that extra width so that the panorama, you can get just a really great idea of the space. And you know, brides like to look back and see the room that the
Right.
party took, so,
I mean, I do
yeah.
wide rooms, and that's why I put mine on here, because I love this 10 to 24. It's a constant F4. It has image stabilization. They call it optical image stabilization. And I do a lot of this with this, but you know, it does distort if you get something up close.
Right.
So I have to be careful of the angle I choose at the venue when I'm getting that wide shot.
Right.
I've never even considered doing a pano.
Yeah, it's a
Oh
lot
my
of
God,
fun.
I'm doing that on my next wedding.
Yeah.
So my
And
next
you know,
couple next month, you're getting a pano.
That's right. And also the cool feature about the Fuji is that if you switch, or if you, there's a setting in there for panoramic.
Yes,
and
yes.
you can actually shoot amazing, you know.
Yeah, and I
panoramas
still
that
haven't
way.
gotten. I've done a few of those, like shooting the Thunder because it's so wide, and it's you push and hold and basically like spin your body, and
Right.
it just stitches it together.
It does.
It's
Now,
like magic.
Shane did do that with me this last week. He got a picture of me taking a picture of the bouquet, but the problem was, and I didn't realize it, is that because you're moving and you've got that button pressed, if I move in the photo,
Oh, it streaks.
it's not going to take the photo right, so it actually looks like I have 2 heads in the photo. So
I think you should leave the comments below and let's get the
gosh.
two-headed Leah photo online.
I don't know if that's such a great idea.
I think
but
it'd
they
be
do
great.
say 2 heads are better than 1, so I don't know.
I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so
So
those-
this is your main kit that
this
you're
is
using.
my main kit, and like I said earlier, this I use for the ceremony. It is a wonderful lens, and I also use it for portraits too, but really it's mainly just for the ceremony, so I can get close-ups, you know, down the aisle.
You know, one thing that I really like about this lens, and there's so many things about Fuji that I really love because they really listen to their users,
Right.
and try and develop things. Is the pedal lens hood on this actually has this little cutout, and when you pull this cutout, I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but there's a little door that slides out that provides a window. And what that's for is when you have a polarizer filter mounted on your lens, you can stick your finger in here and rotate it. You don't have to go through the front.
Oh, that's nice. Less
So it's-
fingerprints, right?
So it's less fingerprint. So
Yeah.
I love how something that simple on a lens hood can make me go, oh, Fuji's thinking about me.
Fuji loves us.
Yeah, so it's really great.
Yeah.
So what about drawbacks? Because I'm sure that every time anyone switches to a different system, there's always going to be things you have to get accustomed to, or maybe you can't get the right gear, or you're having to change your workflow. Did you find any kind of negatives that you had to get over with switching to Fuji?
Well, I was using, we had all of our lights set up through Paul C. Buff. We had the Alien Bees. And I could still stick the trigger on this camera and trigger the light. But we found that, you know, they are corded, so that
Right,
was a
right.
limitation. We went to the 8200s, and those were a fantastic change. So, but the thing with lighting is you do have to make sure that the triggers are compatible with Fuji. You can't just go out and buy any light. You have to make sure this is going to work. And I have found that there are a lot of lights to this day that still aren't compatible with this camera. So,
Yeah, that has been a drawback. I shoot a lot of flash photography, and it would be great if Fuji would make a studio flash with a
Yeah,
lot of
that
power.
would be
So
nice,
Fuji
yeah.
guys, listen to us. Come out with the new Fuji 500.
yeah.
You know, high-speed sync, studio light, battery powered. Needs to be able to have 1,000 frames, full power. You know, something like that. But I'm having the same issue. I always tell people that Fuji's like an Alfa Romero. Okay, it's very fun to drive. You're in a very narrow, small circle of friends that
Right.
that own this camera or drive that car. But if you decide to go to AutoZone to get some parts, they're just going to say
Forget
no.
it, yeah.
Nikon and Canon are always going to get all the cool third-party stuff first.
They will.
Just like there's no third-party lens manufacturers making anything for Fuji.
No, there's not. You have to get strictly Fuji lenses. The other drawback that I did find was using an on-camera flash.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
I did buy the Fuji flash. Fuji does make a flash.
Yeah, the EF 500.
Right. I did not have good luck with that. I had to keep sending it back. It just did not work well for me. I was at a few weddings and the flash actually broke and did not flash. So I do have to use the Yongnuo flash for.
I use the Godox flashes.
Right.
Those work really good.
Yeah. So.
And they do well.
Yeah, that's what we use. So there have been some things that I've had to change. With Canon, I could use the Canon flash and it would work great. Never had any problems, but there are some things that I've had to substitute just to be able to make this camera work. So.
Yeah, so there's some third-party things. Like right now, I'm working with Tether Tools. They're one of my partners, and their new Air Direct isn't completely Fujifilm compatible. Well, with the it will work with Fujifilm, but my computer runs Catalina because I'm working on a Mac, and that still has some issues with it.
Right.
So there's some tethering issues I'm working with. Now, with the cord, like a champ.
Right.
One thing that I had a problem with the Nikon, and you just get over these things after 30 years of shooting, when you plug in a cord, a tether cord to a Nikon, it immediately disables the card. No images are shot to the card. It only goes to the computer, which is okay most of the time, but I like having backups.
Right.
And honestly, with the Fuji, there's multiple ways of tethering. It's just in the menu. The menu system is pretty incredible, very in depth.
It is great.
So there's a lot of things that I've had to get over pretty quickly, and it's just like the flash. There's not a lot of people that offer things for Fuji for flash. Third-party manufacturers, I'll see like really cool bodies. You know, one that's really bugging me a lot, and I know it's probably not going to make a lot of difference to many people. When I had my Nikon, I had color-coded caps for my lenses.
Oh.
Like orange, blue, yellow. You can't find those for Fuji.
Yeah, I mean, I have to have my lenses in my bag placed in a certain row so that I know exactly,
Which
what
one
I'm
is
grabbing.
what.
Yeah, because,
Yeah, but if you go to Amazon or any of these other things and just type in color lens caps for Nikon, you can get them in everything. You type in Fuji, you get zero.
Yeah, zero. There's no options. It's disappointing.
It is very disappointing. So speaking about Photocon, you traded all your Canon gear in at Photocon. I traded all my Nikon gear at Photocon.
Yeah.
And we all switched to Fuji. And Photocon is coming to the Aloft Hotel in 2 weeks.
18 days.
18 days.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am still working on my presentation. I want it to be perfect.
Oh, it will be perfect. I have no doubt in my mind.
Well, I ran through it yesterday, and I'm at 1 hour and 45 minutes, so I was really worried that I wasn't going to be able to reach that time, but I'm going to do it.
Just talk really fast, just like I do when I'm in a classroom, and I can go through it really quick, and it's okay.
I'm going to ask a lot of questions, so...
oh my God, it's going to be... And so tell us a little bit about your program for Photocon.
Okay, so my program is about the 5 main workflows I use to get through a wedding. Now, this includes from the time that I first hear from a lead before she books to the time that she actually does book, and then I start sending her information to prepare her for her wedding day.
Oh, so this is the workflow, like client lead workflow.
It encompasses the moment someone books to the moment I present their final gallery to them for their wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to go through
basically
everything.
with weddings. So this is a wedding type workflow.
It is, but if you do other types of photography, you can substitute wedding for, any other job that you do, fashion or whatever. It's general enough that you can use it for any business with your clients.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be teaching some hard light portraits, which is really funny because a lot of people out there have already hit me up saying the portraits or the photos I submitted for my samples were not hard light.
Yeah.
I'm going to change your mind about hard light photography. Yes, we're going to do some, but there's a photo that I submitted of Aspen, and she is in a field on a chair, and I would consider that a hard light portrait because I filled her in with a single flash with no modifier.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that.
So this is going to be kind of fun, and I don't care what the weather is. We're going to go outside and rock it.
Yeah, and I love hard light. I mean, I had my headshot up for years, and
Yeah, but you didn't use the headshot I took of you.
Yes, I know. I need to go and download all of those images. I've been so busy working on my Photocon presentation.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. She's so nice. She doesn't want to say, Robert, your headshot sucks.
No, it's just very stressful. I haven't done anything. I haven't even ordered the portraits from my daughter's school for her class picture. So,
Do you really do that? Let's talk about that.
I take their picture every year, but I also feel like I want the picture that they took at the school. I want them to remember like how cute they were at the school that they were at. I know it seems ridiculous because I'm going to do it anyway, but
I don't think it is, because I've done it with my kids all the time. Is I'll order like the smallest package.
yeah,
Just because, and I'm not judging the photographer there. I mean, if I had to shoot thousands of kids in one day, they're not all going to be portraits. It's going to be a very quick documentation shot. I like the goofiness of it.
I just love it. I mean, the little look that they have on their face when you're not standing in front of them.
Yes, it's a big difference.
Yeah, it is. It is different. And I don't know. I sort of like to have that memory of them too. Of course, everyone, all of my daughters are like, no, don't buy that picture. It stinks, and I wasn't smiling right. And I want you to take my picture instead. But I just like that photo too.
And it's our job as parents to embarrass our children.
It is. I need something for the future that I can hold over their heads. So.
We definitely need to do that. All right, we better wrap up because we both got things to do. But be sure to check out Leia at leahphoto.com. I'm at Robert. My name is Robert at trawickimages.com.
Yeah.
And check us both out at photoconokc.com.
Yes.
We'll put a link down in the show notes on both of our videos. And if you want to hear some different news or different stories about all the wonderful things that Fuji can do, stop by and see us at PhotoCon. We'd love to answer your questions.
Yes, and I actually have 3 Facebook questions from Kathy, Mark, and Thomas that I will be answering that they asked me on Facebook. So if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask me or Robert, please comment on this video and we will answer them.
Anything about anything.
I mean,
I'm an open book. Like what
I
kind
would
of
like
coffee
to
am I?
restrict it just to photography. And
Okay,
weddings,
she's going to restrict hers. I'm open to anything.
Yeah.
And hopefully the coronavirus is not affecting your day.
Yes, hopefully not.
All right, so you guys have a great day. Enjoy it.
Bye.
Bye. And then we just turn around and talk. And that's it.
That's it. Oh my God, that was awesome.
I think it was totally cool.